Welcome back. This week we are going to look at painting some trim. But first, that old piece that we used the rasp on last time, I've got to straighten it out a little bit. Again, I'm just using mud for this stuff. I know I probably should be using wood filler or whatever, but I haven't had any issues with using the mud.
Before I get to painting those up to look like these, I got a little bit of sanding to do on them first.
So yeah, put the mud on and sand the mud off, and then you got a smooth board. I don't know, I think it's pretty easy.
Alright, just like that, we have a nice smooth board that we can paint up. I'm going to go ahead and do that to the rest of them. But we are good to paint on this one. I think I'll put a dust mask on for the rest though. Alright, getting to it.
Yeah, the dust mask is a pretty good idea for this stuff. I am deciding that this is the last one of these projects that I'm going to do upstairs, unless I have to.
We're all set up to paint. Done sanding with everything except for the last board, which mud is still drying on. Oh, damaged it too. Let me straighten that out a little bit. Might have to do the second coat still, so it'll be okay. I'll get that on the second coat. Okay, so anyways, back to the paint. I'm gonna roll this stuff. I like to paint the back side of my trim. I know a lot of people don't do that, but that way when I put it on, I'm gonna use clear caulk, and if you see any of the back, it'll be the right color. Besides, I think it may help trim last a little longer. So, off to it.
So what do you think? Think you should paint the back of your trim? Maybe I'm just crazy. Well, I think we all know I'm probably crazy, but yeah, I like painting the back. Call me crazy. Here I go. And I decided to use a roller this time on the trim for a few reasons. One, it is so much faster than using a brush. And two, it actually gives a little texture. And so when I'm going to put this trim back on the wall, for around the windows, I'm using screws, so I'm drilling holes and putting screws in so that the window frames are nice and strong. You can sit on the window sills when I'm done. You can hang from the top if you want. You can hang plants on it. I'm just a really big fan of having a really strong window frame. The upper trim and probably even the lower trim, I'm going to use a brad nailer to put it on because it's faster and way less touch-up. But the touch-up is why the roller is actually an advantage as well, because the roller does provide some roller texture, and then when I go back and touch up with the roller, it gives that same texture over the patch, and that way it's great, and it just blends right in, and it's really hard to see the patches. I am busting out a hand brush to do the touch-up around the edges, of course. There's lots of little curves and cuts and bevels in this to touch up, so little work with the brush, no big deal, just one more thing to clean. But yeah, that roller really makes the whole process go so much faster, as you'll see as we keep going through this. So how do you guys like this video format? Let me know. I'll be trying some other things in the future, so feel free to leave a comment. Let me know what you do and don't like about the videos, and feel free to let me have it. I don't mind being having some good positive critiques come my way. It will only help these to get better. And I'm really looking forward to getting out of this what we're calling the home base part of the project. There's a lot of plans cooking. I'm going to be meeting with people soon to get balls rolling, and so I'm really excited to be moving on into some other things that we're going to be doing rather than just this.
Alright, I just got back from picking up stuff at the auction, and I set up for the next round of paint. I'm going to paint the edges. Things. But first I got to do a little sanding on this. I got the mud over the weekend on it, and we're going to make that look nice real quick and get it caught up with these little buddies here. So really.
And you'll see, to paint the edge of these, I'm clamping them together and then that way I can roll out the edges and roll a bunch of edges all at once. And then if you're going to do this, the important thing is to pull them apart right after, before you let any of the paint dry, because you will get paint curl over the edges and you need to be able to get that curl off.
Okie dokie. Coat number 1 complete, except for this guy. I'm waiting for him to dry so I can turn him over and do the back side. Other than that, coat number 1 complete. It's a nice shiny looking trim, and I have a little space to fill. It's about 1.5 inches wide, and it's going to go against the window like this so that the trim sits on the wall, and that's going to fill that gap. So I have to figure something out to fill in that gap. So that's what I'm going to do next.
Yeah, figure something out, right? So here we go. I found some scrap in the basement, and these scraps came from the windows that I removed. And so here we're going to cut them to length, and pretty soon I'm going to get a chop saw station set up, and that'll make life a little faster. But for now, this is what we're doing. And this is a chalk line. I added some chalk to it, and we're going to snap a straight line, use the skill saw here to rip cut these little boards, which is a really pain to do, but you know, just get in, get it done. I'm using a clamp to hold the board still, setting the depth of the skill saw so that it's barely cutting through, and this old desk in the basement I don't care about, cutting a few little grooves in, so that's okay. This went pretty well, and there's 4 in total, 1 for each side of the 2 windows, and so there we are. We're working on number 4 there, and then a little scraper to clean them up a bit, and then we'll take them up and use the mud to fill in any large holes or previous nail holes, and we're off to painting. So there they are, getting painted. Yay. It's always nice getting to the painting phase of a project like this, because I've done so much work and so much trimming and cutting, and I do, however, have some assembly left to do. So I'm going to assemble the window seal to the bottom board, and so that way when I install them I can just screw the bottom board to them.
Alright, first batch all painted up. Now I'm going to do some assembly. These parts have to go on to those parts, and these parts, and then I'm going to paint the top trim. New day, new project. Like it's taking forever some days. I go to paint this and I remember, oh yes, I haven't patched the holes. So first patch done. I will get a second patch, let it dry, sand it, and then we'll be ready to paint. But these are drying up nicely, a little touch up, and they are going to be ready to go on the wall. So we're going to do that tomorrow. Awesome.
So what do you think of that bevel I put on here with the router? I kind of like it. I think it looks way better than just having a dimensional piece of wood up there to have a little bevel flare, if you may. So again, I'm going to take these trim pieces and bundle them all together with the clamps and kind of paint all the sides all at once, just to make things go fast. So there you have them bundled together, and bam, they're painted. And then we pull them apart, do tops. So again, just trying to make this as quick as possible, because I'm really looking forward to moving on with this project and getting on to the other projects that will be more exciting, I think, and definitely a little more fulfilling for me. Although the nice part about doing this kind of work is that when you finally get it done, you finally get it on the wall or whatever, it is rewarding to see that final product come together. Other than that, though, we're just about painted up here, and we'll hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, please give us a like, and I hope you have a great week. We'll see you next week.